I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Bond Referendum Subcommittee of the Public Safety Subgroup. And I'm going to start with the roll call. District 2 appointee, Monica Garcia.
Present.
District, they have it down as District 2 appointee, Jesus Olivares.
Here.
District 6 appointee, Edward Garza. He is not here, he did confirm. District 7 appointee, Lucy Morris.
Here.
District 4 appointee, Albert Chapa.
Here.
District 5 appointee, Belinda Guerra.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum and we are pending, just wanted to inform everybody, the mayor is going to make an appointment and we will have one more committee member that will join us. We don't know who that is yet. And I do know that we have a member or two that are pending being sworn in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yourself, sir? Okay. There is no public comment, but it is here already on our agendas, and we're going to keep this format for the most part. For you all that don't know me, my name is Steve Landin. I'm one of the assistant city managers here of the city, and I have been appointed by the city manager as the liaison to your committee. I want the next part would be the introductions. We're going to start right here. And we'll go around the room so that everybody will get to know each other. Go ahead, sir.
Jesus Olivares. I used to work here.
Belinda Guerra Muir, and I work for Guerra Communications.
Albert Chapa, retired from the city as well.
Okay.
Alfonso Peña, admin chief for the fire department.
Silvestre Rodriguez is the fire chief.
Miguel Rodriguez, police chief.
Guillermo Hurd, fire chief.
Lucy Morris, I work for U.S. Customs Broker.
Monica Garcia, I work for Metro Transit Department, plus I'm an elected official for LISD board.
Jesus Esparza with the City Road and Budget Department.
Jose Valdez Jr., Assistant City Manager.
Okay, thank you all. The next item on the agenda is discussing with possible action on the election of the subcommittee chair. So from you all that are on the committee, I'd like to entertain a motion or a volunteer to, you all are gonna vote on it as to who your chair would be from you all that are here.
A motion to put Jesus Olivares as a subcommittee chair.
Second.
There's a second. Okay. Any discussion? No discussion. Let's take the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Mr. Olivares, you are the chair of this subcommittee. And being that you're the chair, I'm going to switch chairs with you so that you can take the meeting over and you can continue with the agenda. Before I do that, I want to issue you all a binder so that each board member will have a binder. If the chiefs don't get a binder,
We're passing it around.
does everybody have a binder? Okay, sir, let's
Something to fill out.
switch chairs.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
There's your badge.
All right, as chair, we'll make sure that next meetings are at a restaurant.
We're gonna get into the details. We're gonna get into the details of all that.
Anyway,
The vice chair.
now we need an election of a subcommittee vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Monica. I second.
Second.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. And also we need to elect a recording secretary. We ain't got too many bodies to go.
No.
What's your name?
Lucy Morris.
Motion to put Ms. Lucy Morris as
Second.
secretary.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Who
got
is,
yourself a
you're gonna be,
Lucy
Recording
Morris, recording
secretary.
okay,
secretary.
so I'd ask you to please document the minutes, and we also are going to be videotaping all of
Do
them.
you need a recorder or anything?
If,
Will I
Just
be able
for
to
that?
get a copy of that, or do I
Yes, we'll
need to?
provide access.
we'll provide access, yes.
And basically what you do is just highlight topics of discussion on
Can you get
the,
a binder?
any of the agenda items,
Okay.
okay? And then if anybody needs to refer to any of the items, we can go back to the tape.
And Mr. Chairman, let the record reflect that Mr. Edward Garza has joined us.
Awesome, welcome.
Sorry I'm late. No.
Hello.
You gotta introduce yourself real quick? for
Yes,
everyone?
Edward Garza, I'm District 6. I'm a professional engineer. I've been doing it all my life. I'm Dr. King's appointee, and I do a lot of work for the city. This is where I'm from, and I'm here to make our city much better, take care of it, protect it.
All right, next item, discussion with possible action of the roles and responsibility of bond referendum public safety committee. Is it, anybody gonna give us anything, basically? You will? Okay.
As your liaison, I'd like to have the floor, if I may. I have been appointed by the city manager as your liaison. And our roles and responsibilities is to lay out the vision of the chiefs to the committee. And our role is to be able to get all the information, ask the chiefs the questions that the committee has, and to be able to come up with a recommendation from this committee on what we will be taking to the city council for approval. Actually, we're gonna take this subcommittee's information back to the big committee, the main committee of all 28 members, and present the subcommittee reports to the larger committee, and then that committee, and you will all vote, all the 28 will vote on what's going to go to the city council. And so in essence, our role is to hash out and look and study the presentations of both chiefs and their staffs. And our responsibility is to take in the information and look at it in its entirety and ask the chiefs as much as you want and their staffs of what, any questions you have, they will have the data to be able to do that. You as a committee are responsible to join us as often as you want to meet. I just asked that as your liaison, as the chair would communicate with me how often we will meet. You will, at every meeting, pick the next date of your meeting and time of your meeting, the date and time of your meeting, so that we can post it accordingly. And we will not be meeting here anymore. All future meetings will take place at a fire station or police headquarters, your headquarters, or any facility that you want to show the committee. You will drive the ship on that, onto where we're going to meet. We will then select all future meetings at the prior meeting, the date and time, and that's how we would do it. So you're responsible to show up to the meetings, and you are also responsible to show up to the big bond, the main committee meeting, as well as a subcommittee. So those are the responsibilities that you all have, and I thank you for taking that responsibility on. And is there any questions for me at this point? This is just a overview of what we're getting into.
Good, thank you, Chief. One of the things that we'll do at our next meeting is we'll look at the time frame that we have in order for us to get our work done, and then we'll designate how many meetings we want to have in between. And as important as this committee is in this particular function, is it's probably going to determine the future of the city. And this is something that has been in the discussion for many, many years. To be able to get to this situation and this point is we're gonna have to let the public know exactly what it is that we're making an effort to accomplish here. And this is where we're gonna depend on both chiefs to provide the information to everybody that's on the committee. But most important, if there's any committee members that have any suggestions, any questions that you feel that have been brought up to your attention, you need to bring it up at the meetings so that the chief, both fire and police chief, can go back and gather that information and represent it back to the committee so that all questions can be answered. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we take the facts out to the community so they can see what it is that they're going to be voting on. That's super important right there. And if you feel that there's something that we're missing somewhere, you know, let's bring it up quickly. And that's going to be a key in order for us to be able to move this committee and for us to have some type of success and as we go forward. And then, of course, when we got the budget person here, right?
Yes, sir.
Budget, you're gonna be our budget man? All right. So, the budget is gonna be very important. The numbers are gonna be super important as far as how we can disseminate this information. So here's the key. You've been selected to be on this committee, you volunteered to be on this committee, but you're gonna become the voice of the city. You're gonna have to go out and exchange the information with the constituents out there. The city can only do so much by putting out information. We gotta get to the people. We gotta get to the voters. They need to know, they need to have their questions answered so that we can go back and prepare our package so that we can promote this bond package in a most effective way that it can become successful. There's other committees that are also working. Everybody's gonna be doing the same thing. Everybody's gonna be gunning for their projects and everything. So it's super, super important for us to have all the information out front. And chiefs, from day one, anything that you can come up with that you feel is gonna be important for us to be able to disseminate, you know, let's bring it on. On our agendas in the future, we'll have a section for each one of the chiefs to present their updates and so forth on that. So, anything else from the committee members, Chief?
May I be recognized? Yes. I did want to let you know that the reason that I don't have the chiefs on this first one is because I was going to present to the committee, to yourself now as a chair, that this first one was to get to know each other and to select the positions within the committee. And then we were going to select at this meeting, they were going to flip a coin so that we could go to their house, and the first house that we go to lays out the whole vision to the committee for questions. And then the following meeting, we go to the next chief's house, and then they lay out that whole vision to you all. and then from that point forward, however you want it to go. I
Right.
kinda had that structure in mind,
Right.
just for you all's consideration to see if that works for you.
And it falls in line with the timeline, so.
It does.
Good.
So the timeline starts today. We will meet as frequent as you all want, all the way through December. Orientation at the end of September, so we're one week off. Monthly meetings beginning in December.
Mhm.
This is for the full committee through February. The subgroups will meet bi-weekly or as frequently as you want from October to December. So we have all of October, all of November, and all of December to meet as frequently as you want with your chiefs. And you can call special meetings again instead of every other week.
Right.
So these committees, and it's in the PowerPoint that we have in your binders of the meeting schedule. But the vision that I had laid out was to present to you, have the chiefs here so that you can know them. And then if with
Why don't you
your,
pick it up, show it to everybody so they can see, look for it in their package.
It's under CMO tab.
yeah, it's under the CMO tab. It's the city manager's PowerPoint that he presented to you all at the first. It looks like this. It says meeting schedule. So basically, once you're ready, if it, they can flip for it, and then that'll determine our next location whenever you're ready.
Can I be recognized? Mr.
You
George?
said, question?
I have a question. So as far as the agenda goes, do we have to go to you to add a part, add questions or add part of the agenda?
Yes, so that I can put it together for you.
Okay. So I guess that, so I give it to Mr. Olivares or you?
You can
Check
work
with
through
me.
him.
Okay, and then from there, we can have
Right.
all the discussion, but I'm also looking towards the binder, and I see nothing on the financial impact piece.
Not yet, we don't have it yet for you.
Okay, so
But
there will
the-
be a package for it, right? So we can see.
You have, in the PowerPoint, you do already have what an impact of each penny would be to a household, but their impact is gonna be presented to you
Yeah.
individually
Yeah.
first. And their impact is for brick and mortar, and then there's gonna have to be a consideration for the operational
Operational
impact as well.
impact.
And you asked that question at the last
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay.
So right now,
So we
this
will
is,
have it by timetable as far as year and projected per year,
correct.
from year one to once the infrastructure is done,
If,
all the way through, right?
And they already have presentations
Okay.
ready for you to see.
okay.
If you all want them ahead of your meeting, we can
That
do
would
it
be
for
great,
you.
so,
It would help
yes.
to put them include them in the agenda, package,
Yeah,
Okay,
and we get it to everybody. It would help.
yes.
Now, if it's too much, we'll pass it out here at the meeting.
it's a PowerPoint presentation
Okay.
from each of the chiefs, and they're ready to go. What I was hoping, with you all's blessing as a subcommittee, is that the first meeting, the first chief would lay it all out on the screen so you could
Right.
see it, and open it up for questions, and then the next chief would do the same, and then from there, you break it up and divide it how you want.
So basically, it's be about an hour apiece, or
How long
Maybe
do you
less.
think your presentations will take, chiefs?
On my end, to tell you the truth, I would suggest that we present and then, stop and Q&A, right?
Yep.
I think that'd be best,
Yeah,
because we
definitely.
can go through the whole presentation, and at the end, it's like, yeah, I missed this. So I
Right.
think through the presentation, Q&A, and, I'd say not give ourselves time, just that we
Just
all
let
can
it
dissect
happen.
it.
I made a presentation, 10, 15 slides, but there's a lot of information in there. So I do have supporting data for all of them too, because I know I'm gonna get questions specifically in the cost, how did you come up with the cost?
just to prepare the committee that it is gonna be a lengthy meeting. There's a good amount of information that we need to disseminate. You can disseminate it, take it with you, and look at it again. It's gonna require that. Any questions that come up afterwards, just let me know, jot them down. If we need follow-up for them to come back and touch base on some of the presentation items, we'll do that. But yes, there's a lot of information that they're gonna have to share with us. So it'll take some time, so the first meeting, let's
Focus on.
make some time to, because we'll be there for
Couple
a
of
good while.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, also, I would want to see how we can manage, I would like to present to the committee only law enforcement sensitive information that would
That's right.
support the need.
And then you can take it back.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we will be adding an executive session item
So I
for
can turn the
the
camera on.
sensitive
Yes.
information
Right.
piece.
Yeah, and then again, there's only information that he can share with the committee. He can't give you, stuff that.
Right.
You can take with
Yeah.
you.
So we understand that.
Yes.
And when we go into executive session, we will pause the recording.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, on ours, I know you asked for a presentation. We have a presentation ready, and we're making some changes, but it's basically ready to go. We also have feasibility studies too. Would you also want me to include that?
Yeah.
That justifies most of the asks that we're asking for.
Right. Right. So I think one of the sections at some point, I think the committee needs to, I don't know if everybody picked up on what restrictions the city has now as far as
Revenues.
revenue and utilizing the tax base. So you might want, can you touch base a little bit on that?
There was a change now in the tax that we could increase 8.5% of the property taxes as the increases, but that was changed and now we have a cap of 3.5% on property taxes. So that is one of the things that we've been struggling because our expenditures have grown in double digits. So when you look at property taxes as one of the main revenues that come into general fund, we're really restricted on how much we can do that. So we get 3.5 of the previous years. Any new property that comes in, we can absorb it at the full amount. But that cap of 3.5 is really having a toll on a lot of cities that are growing because our expenditures are going in double digits. And so that's the challenge that we're faced with, and as Mr. Aguilar mentions.
And that's something that was passed by the legislature?
Yes.
So it kinda, no pun intended, see, but put the handcuffs on the cities. As far as being able to use the great city's growth to finance whatever bonds you might want to sell in the form of certificates of obligation. That's been limited now.
Yeah, the debt service itself is, the rate has two parts. It has the debt service rate and it has the M&O rate. The M&O is what we use to pay the operations of general fund, police, fire, parks, all these departments. The debt service rate, when we come up with that rate, first we have to cover debt service. So out of that rate, 11 cents goes to debt service. So if that increases to 12 or 13, it just makes sure that we have enough money to pay debt service. What's left over is what we use for the M&O.
Right.
So where the increase is capped is in the total taxes that we're collecting on property taxes. So first we gotta cover debt service and then we cover the M&O.
That's gonna be an important portion of the whole process, so all the committee members can understand that. Because you're gonna be asked that question. Why? They're gonna ask you why. And I think if everybody is fully educated on how it works and what are the restrictions that we have in order to utilize these funds, you're gonna be able to get your conversation across a lot better. That's gonna be a real important part, for us to move forward on this. Any questions? Go ahead.
As we speak on the referendum is, like it was mentioned, is for the brick and mortar, building the buildings, and doing that. The M&O side is the other side, because if we just built a building and moved people around, there's no M&O, just a building. So the referendum is covering the amount that is needed to pay for that loan of the referendum itself. So we still have the challenging part of figuring, okay, how do we do the M&O side?
And those are the numbers that I want that are gonna be attached to the $250 million bond.
Yes.
And we'll have all that.
Yeah, that's gonna be important.
That's Yes, sir.
Because I think it's gonna be important that we actually educate the people and letting them know that yes, it's $250 million of projected infrastructure, but at the same point in time, this is also gonna be an added expense. You know, and we can't let the voters know, okay, it's only gonna be 250 million, when in reality, there's another package attached to it. So we have to be fact-based to when it comes to the people in the public that are actually going to vote for it, because that's what's also gonna be, and that's why it's important for you to tell me, okay, from year 1 to year 10, you know, this is how much money gonna have to be infused into the budget for police and for fire in order for us to utilize this $250 million. That's gonna be very, very important, because they're gonna wanna know what's behind $250 million, just like what's behind the curtain. So that's the important piece.
I think something else to consider is whatever new buildings we build, what are we gonna do with the old buildings? You know, city property, retrofitting things, stretching the dollar, you know, seeing how we can expand on that. So I'd like to see, as we get into this detail of new construction, I think we need to talk about retrofitting existing construction and how we can maximize that use to kind of stretch the money, so to speak.
Right. Good point. Any input from anybody? This is all gonna be good. It's gonna be a massive amount of information, so but through the process, hopefully everybody will absorb it, and then we're gonna need to really do a good job to get it out there in the community, because that's what it's going to take. Make sure that the voters feel comfortable. If we're starting to get a pushback, you know, you gotta let us know. We gotta take it to them. That's the way you start, okay? And let's arm ourselves with information as much as possible that we can absorb, so that we can become an effective bond committee and get our message across. The other folks are going to be doing the same thing. So this is going to be information overload for the community. Everybody's going to be putting out their information and everything. So be honest with you, there's only a few that are going to make it. I think we all know that. And it's hard. And whoever does the best job is going to get that information out there. It's probably going to stand a better chance of these bonds getting approved. So we've got to work at it.
Well, in all honesty, I think we're going to win because we have radio stations. So, how do you get the word out? Can we do that and, you know, have interviews with them and that sort of thing? Is that allowed?
Yes, and we do have a PIO section with some information in your binder on what we're looking at. And of course, we can get even better at it.
Okay, good.
This is just a very, very basic framework of what we're thinking of doing.
Okay.
See, that's a section that eventually they'll come back and they'll brief us as to how they're gonna get that done.
Okay, I'd really like some information on that.
Is the city gonna invest any money?
Yeah,
Right.
well, we can in educating, but there's going to be more than likely, we've already been hearing that there's gonna be a PAC formed.
Oh,
And that PAC is gonna be similar to what they do with the UISD and LISD bond referendums, where that PAC will run with it.
but we'll still go a step ahead of that,
Yeah.
and it's all public service, of course, and so we can utilize it that way as well.
Okay, so the PAC can raise their own money,
That's correct.
okay?
Yeah.
But the city normally has the obligation to inform the public through
Different means.
means of media
Right.
outlet. And there's only a certain amount
Oh,
of those that
we'll
can
work
be
with you
used.
on that for sure.
The legitimate ones.
Oh, we're gonna win.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like the radio stations
of
and
course.
TV stations and so forth.
Yes.
I had another question, and I guess this question is gonna be for legal. How much, per se, we get, asked by news media, news outlets or whatnot, how much is it that we can discuss with the media or we cannot, or what is it that we can and cannot do? Because that's gonna be important. Once the media finds out who are the committee members and whatnot, we'll probably get called. And I would want to know what legal would tell us what we can and cannot say to the media, or if it's just an open to all.
If I may, you can find some of that information on the
It's in
Code Bond
the legal
Council tab.
tab, it's on the legal tab.
Okay.
Code Bond Council tab.
Yeah, we have it all, that information, we provided it inside the,
Basically, anything that is public information,
We can talk about it.
something that you can discuss.
What we normally did, like in other committees, is have a spokesperson, right? And we go
Right.
through that so that we're not giving mixed information or anything like that.
That can be referred to me.
I think that would be, you
And
know,
if I
we could
feel-
speak to him, right, about
And
it.
if I feel that the question is too controversial or anything, you know, I'll go to the city attorney or to the assistant city manager and,
Right. And also, we're speaking for the committee, and so we
Right.
want to make sure that we're all on the same page and we're
yeah.
being directed.
And there's nothing wrong for committee members to be interviewed. Basically, you're a citizen and that you're doing your due diligence duty
Right.
to be able to represent the voters in this community, and you know, you're gathering all the information so that the citizens can have the information readily available for them to be able to decide, because ultimately that's who's gonna decide.
Mr. Chair, if I may be recognized, Frank Mata, the Finance Director. If you turn to the PIO section, on that last page of that presentation, we do have the PIO's contact information, and please do use her as support.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Another question that I was also going to ask, I know that if also we can have comparables, I know that City of Dallas, City of Houston, and I think even Corpus is already going out for bond referendums. And I think they were already successful with some of them. And I don't know, Chief, if you guys can, know if they had like a section of public safety and, what was their bond packaging, if there's a way that you guys can find that out, or maybe you guys already have that information?
I think.
Because, I mean, it would be good to have some sort of comparables
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
from other cities and
Yeah, and
see how
Dallas
they did it.
just got through their $500 million bond referendum on them. It was a lot of remodeling and stations that they needed across the city, but they also added technology and stuff. But I can get that for you, and that way you can have some visibility as to what is it that they got approved.
We modeled our presentation towards Dallas's referendum already. We reviewed it also too, so.
Because these are different, I mean, the bonds that we currently have, NLISD or UISD also operates, they're different because they're educational facilities. So it does, you know, it's basically boxed around schools or redoing schools and so on and so forth. So it's different. But I know that the packaging, they're very precise as to, I mean, it's $12 million for this renovation only. It's, you know, and they're
Breaks it
very,
up,
very, you know, very exact to the penny. So, that's also gonna be key when they tell us, when you all present and give us to the penny, what type of infrastructure you're looking for in that $250 million, you know, money.
Yes.
And that's where the finance section came in and said, it's for brick and mortar.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, fire stations, police station, you know, I think that's what the committee is gonna get educated on. And they're gonna be the ones making that presentation.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just add to that, in my experience, cost estimating has become an art form. And cost estimates are only good now in Laredo for 90 days.
Right.
That's it. And so we need to be aware of where the pricing is coming from, how old it is, to see if we need to update it before we really start this
Right.
discussion in more detail. Contingency allowances now is the norm.
Yeah.
And putting 7 figures in those items is becoming very popular. And I think we're gonna be facing that, and that's one.
Yeah.
2, land costs for new buildings is just crazy expensive. Some of the things that I'm interested in knowing more further detail is what property does the city already own, in which we can just put all the money on buildings versus acquiring land. Plus, what people can we talk to about donating property, and especially in hot zones where we need a new fire station. You know, we know a lot of people in the industry, and I think if we can save money for the city with land donations and really high quality cost estimating, I think it'll give us a lot more credibility as we speak to the public.
Well, we're gonna definitely utilize your expertise in that area, especially in cost estimating and everything, because right now, we're only talking about estimates, right? We really haven't done
We do have some rough numbers from architects that the chiefs are working with.
But even at that, adding to your particular comment, just right now, we also have to take into perspective, and both chiefs are gonna have to understand that we're packaging $250 million worth of infrastructure for both fire and police. But what ends up happening at the end, when you're talking about cost estimates, yes, like per se, I'm gonna do the example of Chihuahua High School Phase 2. We started out at $256 per square foot, and it went up to $512. So they added the ticket price from $19.5 million to $36 million in a span of a year. So in his cost estimation, he is correct, but also you're going to have to understand that there might be parts of you guys having to sacrifice what is on your top tier and level it all the way down, because it's going to be important to know that there might be something that's not going to be able to be done.
And the way to combat that is we can plan for roughing in many things in a building, and then have it all roughed in, so when we bring it in down the road for the future, it's not as costly.
Right.
As long as we properly plan that, and all that can be achieved over time.
I mean, steel went up 80%.
In a year.
In one year.
year.
So we just need to be prepared because steel is extremely expensive right now, so.
That's why for every piece of property we get donated, we can put all that money in brick and mortar.
Mr. Chair, can I be recognized? In our presentation, we're in the process of 2 of those stations, and we'll present you where we are at and where the shortfalls have come in because of the inflation cost. And what the architect that we hired already has shown us what he feels with our city engineer, what is the cost per square foot going to be.
Yeah, and so, Mr. Chairman, just to add to that, and I know that is very costly nowadays per square foot. You know, we started back in the day at $350 per square foot, and then when we finished, at the end of last year, for a headquarters, it ends up being $650 a square foot. And now that the current environment, now you need to. And I just came down from a meeting with the major city chiefs. And one of the things that they're considering now, because of the environment, right, that either if you're away from the highway, it's okay to have different kinds of materials, but if you're closer to the highway and want to be within the community, you need to take into consideration concrete walls, make sure that you have protective windows that are bulletproof, because somebody can just pass by and shoot at the building, right? So a lot of those things that we hadn't considered, we now have to consider, right? So all those things matter, and so we'll talk about them. And again, we're in a radio, it's a different demographic, but at the end of the day, we cannot just say, oh, it's not going to happen here. So we need to take that.
And that's why I'm saying, Chief, that it's going to be important for y'all to tear it out, because it's going to this is our main priority all the way down to your 10th priority, because it's going to be important that at the end, if this is successful, it passes by the voters. There might come to a point, like I'm going to tell you, it's $112 million that I have invested in District 7 alone, but I can't do Ligarde because we're missing bond money. So that's the reason why I'm telling you that there might be something that you might not be able to actually end up doing as part of the package. So just keep that in mind.
You want to flip?
Oh, did everybody get a binder? Because I have an extra one for some reason.
Yeah, you're missing, I think,
the mayor's appointee?
The mayor's.
Steve, where's your head? I'm thinking, what's wrong, Steve? What's going on? Thank you. Okay.
Some good discussion.
Anybody have a coin?
Yeah, we have, the next item is to find out the connection between the 2 chiefs.
Hi.
The chair will flip.
Wow.
The chair will flip. Which one's head?
It's
Patch or badge?
Badge, who are you?
I'm Patch.
Okay.
Your badge?
It's his, so he can
That's
choose.
Patch.
you want the badge or you want the logo?
I want the patch, yeah.
This one?
No, that's the badge. I want the patch.
You want the logo?
Yeah.
Alright.
Badge it be.
Badge, you take it first.
Oh, we-
Alright.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, the first meeting we go,
Are you picking?
yeah,
Yeah,
So it's with you, right?
yes, sir.
Okay.
well, you get the key, you get to select.
Yeah, you get to pick.
You wanna pick or you wanna defer?
You wanna do
Yeah, yeah.
You wanna defer the king?
We're ready for duty. Our motto is we're ready for duty, we're ready for
There we go.
So,
I guess we just have to, is it gonna be at 5 o'clock, the meeting, and,
It'd be
What day and
5:30.
at what time?
yeah.
Yeah, 5:30 is reasonable for everybody.
Yeah.
Unless they're gonna be longer, right?
That one,
Like
those
they said.
two, they're gonna be long
The
meetings.
initial,
we start 'em earlier.
the initial one will take longer.
Yeah,
So 5.
okay.
At
This
5,
time, yeah.
yeah.
So we'll do the 5:30 meeting. The next meeting will be at your,
At the administration
on
building.
Delmar,
Yes, sir.
Central Station, Delmar, at 5:30. And I'll
You
get
have a date?
together with you.
You wanna pick a date, sir?
Uh,
Or do you all wanna look at the
Yeah.
calendar?
yeah.
So we need to pick a date so that we can, and
You
then we'll
wanna
have
do
to work on the
it,
next
you
one.
wanna do it, as quick as next week, or not?
Your call.
Oh, you're out of town.
Yeah, I'll be out of
Yeah.
town.
We
Well,
can skip. if you-
Well, no, not next week. I'm sorry. I'm going out of town tomorrow.
So the next
Sorry.
week would be a good day?
I would say that,
And the
is
14th is a
everybody
holiday.
okay with the Wednesdays?
Is the 14 is a holiday, no?
Monday is a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The 14th.
so Mondays, is council meetings and
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
How about
So-
Tuesday? Is that
Tuesday,
good?
how about,
Tuesday, October the 15th?
is like Wednesday,
I unfortunately will be in town Wednesday.
you're busy on
I
Wednesdays?
know. God.
About, Tuesday,
Tuesday, October the 15th?
Yeah.
October the 15th for,
the 15th, okay with everybody?
Chairman, so we're gonna leave Tuesdays for the major,
Because we got it both, right?
right.
When's the first meeting?
I'll let you know
Because
those days.
we're gonna pick meetings by, like for this next week, there's no major committee meeting,
No, there
right? So we
isn't.
could use
You
that
could use that
Tuesday.
Tuesday, but
Okay.
just bear that
So
in
we're
mind
good
that.
for this one.
okay, for
Future.
October the 15th for fire department?
Yes.
yeah, so he's the only one that's gonna present?
Yes.
On the
For this
15th?
one.
Yes.
15th.
Okay,
And then the
And
next,
then,
then the following meeting's at your house,
okay.
and you're the
But we
only
need
one
to do them in a
presenting.
week span
Are you
in order to
okay
get
for
all
the
that
15th?
information.
Absolutely, but I was
ready.
thinking we should do 5 since it's going to be a long meeting. Maybe we can start at 5, if,
I mean,
just
it's
for
up to-
these. But
can
if,
everybody
if
get
you
there
all
at
can do
5?
that,
Yeah, so I, on the 15th, yeah, we can be there at 5.
And it's
October
really,
the
and it's
15th.
really
It's
for,
really for-
fire's gonna present.
And the reason I'm saying, Mr. Chairman, is, and Chief, is
And-
because I
and,
will be out of town.
Just,
But you have a rep.
Tuesdays is okay with everybody because we'd like to keep them on the same day
It's
of
not gonna stay on
everything.
the same day, sir,
Because of
because the big committee
Mhm.
will be on,
Then we
once a
can-
month minimum on Tuesdays.
On Tuesday.
So, but the
So we
big,
gotta- then we can
the
use them
big-
for Thursdays.
Thursdays.
We
Yeah,
can do
Wednesday's good
Thursdays,
for me too.
then just keep them Thursdays all the
Okay,
time.
well, we'll do,
So the first one
we'll
will be
call it
Tuesday?
at the next meeting to see who's available because,
Board meetings.
yeah,
Oh,
Board
yeah.
meetings.
yeah.
That's right.
So for this coming week, Tuesday's good?
Okay for
Yeah,
the
we'll do the
15th.
And then
yeah.
one
Tuesday.
5 or 5:30.
And then-
So,
Yeah.
so the
Fine.
whole committee is gonna get together when?
On Tuesdays, once a month so far, but we haven't picked the
Yeah,
first
this
one.
was the first one.
So Tuesday's been the day that's been picked once a month by the
Major
big committee.
The big committee.
Okay,
Where
so
are
we do
those
it- We're doing
meetings?
the fire
First.
fire first, October the 15th, 5 PM at the fire station.
Right.
Now we need to pick the date for,
PD?
for PD. Can we do the following Tuesday since you guys don't have the committee yet?
The following Tuesday will
We'll
be
be
a
on the 22nd.
committee meeting.
So we can just have the
Mhm.
1 week and then the next week and we already have all that information going?
You let us know.
Is, the
So what I'd
overall
like
committee,
what I'd like to do is allow the subcommittees to first gather, so I'm allowing this month. I was hoping to do it, before the end of October to meet as a group,
The big committee.
the big committee, but if
Mhm.
I have to squeeze it till November, then let it be. It's gonna all depend on how soon these subcommittees or subgroups
Mhm.
come together.
It's because I think their presentations are the key role into this committee.
Right.
Then after that, I guess we can work on the dates for later on coming and
Yeah.
later.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, after this, we're not gonna be limited as to
You
every
guys can
week.
meet every day if you want to.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a monthly Tuesday meeting. These two meetings don't get in the way yet.
Then I guess for the week that it's the monthly meeting, then we don't, make sure we don't meet and that's it, but we can have the Tuesday open for us. Because Thursdays for sure are not good for me, because I have
Okay.
board meetings.
Wednesdays
Alright.
are good for me, just not this coming, from now on, I won't make that
So
up.
then I guess,
All
we're
right,
set.
so we can wrap the 15th
At 5,
at your house,
fire station.
and then we go to the 22nd,
To the PD.
To PD.
chief.
And you still, both of them at 5 p.m.?
Yeah,
Yeah, 5
Okay.
p.m.
And I'll work on a draft agenda. I'll
yeah,
email
and
it
then
to you.
we'll get together on items for the agenda
Yes.
later, in case.
Is it
Anybody-
okay if they send us, I guess, your presentation with time?
We'll
So we
send-
can already go
we'll send
a
it tomorrow.
little,
We'll
a
send-
little, with Q&As already
Yeah.
ready?
You're having to
And you
post
can
it.
black out the,
Okay, so
you know,
when you
information.
post-
that
Yeah.
I think
you
this
share.
one we
You
can
send
send,
out.
it's a couple of
Okay.
slides we
Send
can
out,
send.
Okay.
It's just the justification for what we're doing. That
Yeah.
would be probably.
It's because I think
Okay.
it's gonna be important, you know, because it'll give every committee member an
Chance to prepare.
opportunity to have
Right.
their cues, ready for you guys during the presentation in itself. And, instead of, you know, continuously stopping the meeting and your presentation at the same time.
But of course, the justification is so important
Yeah.
prior to this, but.
Mr. Chair, do we send I don't think I have all the emails, do I send it
We'll
to?
get you that.
You-
Okay, I send it directly to them or?
City secretary,
That's your liaison.
just get it to them.
Okay, to the chief?
Right.
He's our
You'll
liaison.
attach it to everybody.
Okay.
Just some additional timeline information, just so you all can have reminders.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I would encourage that you do spend some time and review those binders. There is important information to some of the questions you guys have as far as do's and don'ts. So,
Yeah, we anticipated the first meeting to have some of these questions, so they're in your binders.
So basically, if you look at this schedule, we got a little work to do here,
Yeah.
here within the next couple of months. Some, but if we get, you know, down to the crux of it, I think we'll be able to make these dates. Because you guys gotta be ready to roll by the 20th, right? Compliance, so you put out information, final readings of ordinances, and those type of things, right?
Yes, sir.
Election being May the 3rd. So kind of worked ourselves back. And this really puts us,
Crunch.
Can I make some clarification? Is that the memo that I sent out to
Yeah,
Zone?
you emailed it
Okay, yes.
to staff.
That's for the calling of the election.
yeah,
And then, but the meetings can still continue after that, but eventually we will
Exactly.
need to provide the information to the.
Is there an exact date already that we have that there's going to be the presentation to council as far as what the committee came up with?
yeah, because legal, we,
Do you guys have that date or
election shall
expected
not,
date?
should not be less than 15 days, no more than 90 days.
because legal department, once you put out the first, the notice for bond referendum, you practically gotta be ready.
Yeah.
When you call if I may, Mr. Chairman, when you call the election, I mean, that's when you're gonna have everything, should have everything presented. Everything that's been approved by council, all that should happen sometime in, because I think it's gonna be called, the last day you can call is February the 14th,
The 14th, that's to call the election.
to call the election, so it should be
Right.
done by then.
Yeah, because when you get to the first publication of the bond referendum, that's it.
Yeah.
Whatever is on there is on there. That,
So probably the
you
last
don't
time.
have a chance to change anything anymore. That's what's going up to Austin. So that's,
Yeah, it was in September.
so kinda we'll keep this one
It's in
handy.
December, so it's in December.
Yeah.
When is it?
So when is
then
council-
present to council?
When's council meeting before the 14th of February? Is that really gonna be the deadline?
Right.
That's a final
Exactly.
reading
Yeah.
of the ordinance? Is that
That's a
in
14.
February? But,
Okay.
so that means that basically up until January, but we wanna make sure we probably have everything done by December. In case this, the city manager's office with finance, in case they have to do something together with the police and fire, that might have to change, they need time also to be able to meet these deadlines. So our job is gonna be to get it out there, within these couple of months.
So January the 20th will be the only day that the presentation to council will be done by subcommittees or by the entire committee.
By the entire committee.
That's the only day.
The presentation to the council will be the big committee.
Okay. that's
And the
fine.
mayor was picking that chair.
I know, but that's the only meeting that
That's
is
the
going for the
deadline.
president.
That's basically the deadline to have everything ready and present
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
city council.
So subcommittee probably gonna have to have that
This
before
election
September, December, no,
Okay.
the subcommittee.
You have up to December.
And then everybody's gonna vote on everything.
Any,
Fast and in a hurry.
anything as far as your presentation, if you feel that you need to go see something, go take a look at your facilities and those type of things.
Mr. Chair, so it is Fire Prevention Month, and part of our community outreach that we do on a yearly basis, we do presentations at our fire buildings. Tomorrow, by coincidence, is
Okay.
our Fire Administration Building, the one that we're gonna be meeting. We're gonna have all our divisions there. We're gonna do a big expo of everything we do.
Great.
EMS, fire, prevention, and we're gonna do that for the next couple of weeks at each of the different stations. It's part of a yearly thing we do, so I think it's a good opportunity, and I would invite the committee to go there, and we'll personally show you what we do. We don't, most community members think we just go to fires or EMS, but we do so much more too.
Exactly. As a committee member, you're gonna be exposed to information that you're gonna know how many stations are out there. How many firefighters, and how many engines. You're gonna get all that information. So if you ever are asked, you're able to answer. This is what we have. Same as with the police department. That's critical information for everybody to know. Same information the city council has. Everything. So.
What time is that tomorrow?
It's from 6 to 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Mr. Chair, regarding that issue, that statement, aging of equipment, fire trucks, police vehicles, et cetera, is there a program that we know in which we need to do a replacement program almost on a yearly basis or bi-yearly? I'm sure the city
Right.
has something in motion.
I think,
This bond referendum we're talking about.
yeah, you can
includes some of
answer
that.
your capital program for replacement.
Yes.
I mean, you can probably make sure you include that in there too.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, so, and part of our CIP presentation, our strategic planning, we do have for the replacement of our vehicles, ambulances, fire trucks, the ladders. It's a strategic plan, and it's also best practices. And I'll go into more detail why I'm saying this year and this year.
But that's not in this, no?
Yes.
No, it is,
Is it
it is,
being
they're included in the vehicle, the vehicles that I'm asking for too then.
Ours is 5 years. Technology, to be CGS compliant, everything is 5 years now. But,
Yeah.
before is like, just to give you a little bit of what we're going through, right? So before, a police car used to cost $25,000. Now a police vehicle costs upwards of $85,000 to $90,000.
Wow.
I think you'll also be able to see on the EMS side
Driving Lexus.
how busy they are. I mean, that's now. I remember back then when Chief, remember we used to dispatch the ambulances without them even going back to the station?
Yep.
That's how busy they were, and I can only imagine how it is now.
So we do have a program that we do ride-alongs for our ambulances, and that's something that I would offer, just so you can see actually, like Mr. Olivares, the chair said, that is their busiest unit. But I guess seeing that all the different programs and how we can provide some guidance, I'd be happy to show you personally on all those kind of
Do you
things.
still have a scuba team?
Yes, we still do. It's part of our rescue team too, so it's our swiftwater rescue, our scuba team is part of that. We'll be showcasing all the different rescues we do tomorrow and the next couple of weeks.
Very good.
Any other questions?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Is there a second?
Second. Second.
We're adjourned.